Welcome everyone to Pine Grove News Live. Make sure I get the music shut off this time. So welcome, it's 6:02 p.m. here on the East Coast. You've got Pine Grove News Live. Just a little sleepy, reading all this news, and of course the clouds have rolled in too. That doesn't help any. It was nice all day. Actually in the upper, mid 60s. That's almost a perfect day. Yeah. So I hope everyone's doing okay. Hope and pray that you're doing okay. You have your hope, right? Hope is in you. Hope is Jesus Christ, right? I hope that He is in you today, showing you exactly what that peace is. It is very comforting, even amongst all this darkness that's going around. Even amongst that, you can still have peace. But you know what, folks? We all know what we're doing here. We're born, we live, and then we die. Regardless of who your God is, what you believe in, what you're doing, that is the cycle of life. If you need to know any more, go see The Lion King. I guess that's, some idiotic cycle of life thing that happens. In any case, I don't know what else to tell you except there's a bunch of news out there. I really do want to. Oh, first, let me do this. Let me recommend this movie. Okay, I saw this movie over the weekend. It's called I Can Only Imagine. It is the true story and of Mercy Me, that the band. And I don't believe that they're a Christian band. They may call themselves that now, I don't know. But originally, they were not a Christian band. But anyway, it's a story of the group, and they call him Bart in the movie. I don't know what his real name is. I don't remember it. But it's very inspiring. It's very good. Even the actors that you'll never see. It was and I recommend it. Well, you remember that one, Mercy Me. I Can Only Imagine. Wish I could play it, but if I don't own it, and even when you do own it, YouTube still comes out and gives you copyright strike. They do. I don't understand it. I guess they'll come out with the copyright strike. They'll stop you. They'll demonetize you until you fight the copyright. And I've had to do it even on this live stream. The intro I had one time with the trumpets, shofars blowing. They said it was copyrighted 2-3 times by 2-3 different people, and I told them, look, I went and got this one at freemusic.org, something like that, freemusic.org. Okay, and I got it from there, and I downloaded it. It's free. And then, they fixed one of them. Then I had to go and do another one. I actually had to go and actually edit the one that I got so that it would be unique, and they still copyright me. So whatever. I mean, that's the junk we got to put up with, or at least I have to. So, okay. I can only imagine. Yeah. What we would do if we stood before Jesus, or could we even stand before Jesus? I don't think I could. I hear about the Bible. There's not too many people who've actually stood in the presence of Jesus or one of his angels without standing. They are all completely dead, just fallen like a lump of clay, immobilized by fear or whatnot. Yeah. you're not going to be standing. I don't know. Maybe there'll be one again. I don't know. And so I want to get this thing off my chest before we get going. There's not a whole lot of news that I didn't put out. I wanted to get done early, but this I listen to Marfoogle TV quite a bit. At least his news part. He has a call-in show. It's anywhere from 2 to 2.5 hours, and I just don't have the patience or the time to listen to him unless I'm at work and I see that it was recorded. But anyway, he started talking about the 5G and other things that is good stuff, but he gets into this mark of the beast thing, which is part of all this. How the New World Order and this 5G are going to use that technology to link the whole world, with your 4K TV and your appliances, dishwasher, all that stuff. And it's all going to be linked together. And then we're talking about the RFID chips and the chips we have on our debit cards or our credit cards or whatever. And they were talking about whether, okay, these are the 4 verses, actually 3 verses. Revelation 13:16, Revelation 14:9, 10, it's only in 9, and Revelation 24. Revelation 20, verse 4. So they refer to the mark in the body or on the body. Does it refer to it? It doesn't sound like a question, but the question is, there is a question mark at the end of this, okay? And so he goes into this talk about overwhelming majority of available transcripts and the common claims about a microchip implant is in that the mark of the beast is supposed to be on the hand or forehead and not in the hand or forehead. Okay, in any case, the Bible's down here that they're stating, because I went and looked it up. Of course I'm going to. So it goes on to say, in contrast, all early versions from 1380 to 1833 side in. That includes Wycliffe's, and it names a few Bibles. So I went in and checked the King James Version, 1611, and the Genevieve Bible. I don't believe it was 1587, but I checked the Genevieve Bible. And except for verse 4 of chapter 20, Revelation, which does have one difference. It does say that it does say upon the foreheads and in the hands. This is the only chapter and verse that states upon the forehead. Okay, only one. Let's see. Oh, except the Genovese one said on the forehead and on the hand. And anyways, my point is, most of them anyway, even the ones down here where they're claiming that they don't state that, or they state, upon and upon, is wrong. Okay, it's still the same as in the other ones, and it's usually in the forehead and in the hand. People, it doesn't matter. Don't let semantics or somebody twisting words here and there to deny you that salvation, because you won't have it if you take one of the marks, whether you take it in the forehead, on the forehead, in the hand, or on the hand, right hand. Okay, you're gonna look up, especially these. In any case, I wouldn't bet my life on it. That's what I would say. I wouldn't bet my eternal salvation on those statistics. Someone going and trying to prove one way, and it doesn't matter. They don't talk, doesn't mean the microchip. No, it could be a tattoo, could be a UPS thing, stamped on your forehead. Who knows? The thing is, you do not take a mark of the beast. You do not take the mark of the beast. Forehead, in the forehead. Of course, I can't see somebody put an RFID chip unless it was flat, or else you'd be able to see it in your forehead. You'd be walking around with some little bubble. No matter how, they are trying to make things smaller, but 5G would probably make it work too. It'd be smaller. But in any case, don't let people like this twist words around to make you change your idea of something, your intellect. That's what they're trying to use. They're trying to twist. They're just trying to twist it. I want you to understand that that's what a lot of people try to do with many things, and this is very important. This mark of the beast, that you do not get it. Yeah, there are some that are going to be, tricked, deceived, fooled, whatever, into this mark for one reason or another. Whether it be, it's you don't have enough faith or trust, whatever, and then you go and take this chip because you got to go get bread and milk for the family, or else they die. Well, you have to work on your faith on that one. No matter what, I'm not going to take it. I'm not. The Bible says not to. In any case, enough of that stuff. All right, so let's get into some news. This is from the Watchers. Heavy snow blizzard conditions affecting parts of the United States, challenging records. I find this almost every day, every week. A couple other stories here too that are pretty. One that I did not see. This is probably the story right here, because I have a brother and his wife. They're truckers and they travel east to west. They're home about 17, I don't know, 12 days or so, something like that. And they're basically on the road 24 hours a day for about, I'm taking a guess, I forget, about 2.5 months. 2 months, then they get 12 days off, something like that. In any case, he was calling me from Nebraska Sunday and said that they had snowstorm warnings in effect in some places, 15 inches. Didn't they just go through springtime? Isn't it spring? This is the time we live in. Weather modification, weather geoengineering, or just plain, wacky weather. How about that? Heavy snow and gusty winds. Parts of the northern Rockies, northern plains, and upper Midwest this weekend, with blizzard conditions expected in portions of Montana. Accumulation snow is expected as far south as Chicago. We're going to tell you about that story in a minute. Elsewhere, breezy and cooler conditions are forecast for much of the east. Yeah, we've had in 50s. We actually turned our heat back on 2 days ago. A couple days. Mid-60s today, so there you have that. Majority of the precipitation in this event is expected north of the surface low track from South Dakota to southern Michigan. And here we go. Here's the one about Chicago. Okay. Rare snowstorm hits Chicago, breaking a 109-year-old snow record. I'm telling you, man, records are going to be broken from now on. You hear about them everywhere. I remember a brother, I'll call him Chuckles for now. They're in Montana. I'm pretty sure it's Montana. And giving us updates one time, snowstorm they were having. Pretty neat to be in touch with people, all over the United States through different, technology. Used the right way. It's pretty good stuff. Talk to somebody in Australia, go see, they're, I'd say around 7, 8 o'clock at night. It's usually the next morning in Australia. I think that's how it works. I don't know how that works right now. Another 2 hours, but yeah, that you could actually talk to somebody from over in Australia in live mode or type it. Yeah, you could actually get on Skype and talk. Well, West Coast from us is 3 hours difference, and that's kind of special in itself right there. I keep asking my sister I know down there that what does the stock market say? Is there something you could tell us for the future? Anyway, actually, yeah, we're in the past. Anyway, latest multi-inch snow on record, 3.7 observed at Rockwell Airport as of 9 p.m. Not a lot of snow, but it's snow, right? And this one from End Time Headlines: Passover snow falls on Mount Hermon for the first time in the 21st century. Yeah, Mount Hermon. We should all know that one, right? Is that the one where the angels came down or went to make a pact about going to marry and mix with human women, or that changed humanity? So snow fell on Mount Hermon on Sunday during Passover for the first time in 22 years. Okay, so yeah, I was thinking it was 100 years ago. It had me fooled, man, but it's only 22 years. It's only 22 years ago. I thought it was like 100 years. Yeah, we are in the 21st century, and we're only 19, well, they'll call it 20 years into it. So, little things I forget. End time headlines: hundreds of dead animals discovered in Galveston, Texas. I'll read a little bit about that because I'm not sure exactly how that happened there. So, in any case, volunteers have found a disturbing number of dead animals recently on the east end of Galveston Island, according to the Galveston County Daily News. The volunteers monitor island coastal wildlife and say they have found hundreds of dead fish, hundreds of dead birds, dead sea turtles, and dolphins. One volunteer found more than 100 dead fish while walking between East Beach and the 25th Street on Wednesday. Volunteers also reported 50 dead pelicans in one day. What is going on Galveston Island? So, coordinator with the Turtle Island Restoration Network, Heather Putman, said she found a dead dolphin near her home in San Leon. We decided not to go to the beach this summer until we know what's going on, and they confirm it's safe for us to go in the water. Dark. Remember those movies? I remember one of the first times before me and my wife were married. We've been married 39 years of this month. One of the first movies we saw was Jaws. Yeah, I remember that. So they can't figure out why the animals are dying. If it's killing the mammals and the birds, what can it do to us? Yeah, exactly. Well, one of the telltale signs. I mean, they use what, canaries for mine shafts to detect, I don't know, gases, deadly gases, apparently. So, yeah, we just saw this one, got this one twice. And the big wobble. Trees are dying by the million in the U.S. and now Europe with beetle epidemics, followed by drought and warm, and is a wildfire accident waiting to happen. Yeah, we've been hearing about this for at least the past 5 years. millions of trees dying. I heard a lot of the northern pines up there are all dying. I mean, just I mean, if that's true color, you can manipulate pictures, but that just looks brown. Yeah, you see some little patches of green in there, but not much. I don't know if people are noticing, but maybe you should, look up from your phone once in a while. That's why they've given you the phone. That's another reason, because you rarely look up. You rarely even look forward. I'll see some people get pretty darn hurt, because they're not looking even while they're going forward. True, it's a fact. I watched a video of some woman walking down the street, and there was a door that opened up on the sidewalk, okay, that normally opens up. And this woman was not paying attention and just flipped over it and down into the pit, whatever it was. I thought she saw it because she put her phone down just for a brief second, then picked it back up and just kept walking. It was staged. I don't know, but I've heard many stories. So yeah, there's just so many things that seem to be dying on this planet, and they want to blame it on global warming and that they could do anything about it. Even if that was the case, is there anything that we could do about it as puny humans? Yeah. And on that note of puny humans, I know a lot of people, still watch movies. You probably watched those Captain America movies. I just, bored. I was studying two different monitors and decided to turn on the TV and got hooked into that Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Yeah, Hollywood still puts out a lot of information that we should be taking down. I have to tell you, unfortunately, if you're not, let me see, if you don't have a firm foundation in your faith, you will you will get swept away again with the TV. You'll be, if you've gotten away from it, you don't want to be reprogrammed. Stay away from it. Um, like Rush Limbaugh said today on the radio. Yeah, yeah. I watched the what's that new show that's out? Everyone's talking about Thrones, something of Thrones. They had an episode on there that some people couldn't watch, mainly because it was a dark scene, and also because of all the language and other things that goes on in that show. And that's why I can't watch a lot of TV. I don't want to anyway, but I turn this stuff on. If I see that, I just turn it back off. Can't watch the news anymore. I can't listen to the commercials. It's all about suing somebody or about big pharma and their, advertising. But I got two things out of that Captain America Winter Soldier thing, and one of them was we've been talking about this a lot lately, and that's EMP devices, battlefield EMPs, and DEW weapons that they were practicing up in Washington just prior to or after the Washington fires. Remember that one with Alberta, Canada getting involved too? It may have been them practicing and starting these fires. That's just my opinion. But in this movie, they talked about an EMP in Chicago, and they've also talked about a dirty bomb in Russia. So, just saying, EMP in Chicago, gun-free zone, only the criminals have guns. That will be an ugly scenario. Uh, yeah, wait till you see this other article that I got towards. Let's see where it is. Talks about what the New World Order wants to do, and they want to take the population down to 90%. And that's kind of peculiar because I've heard this 90% before. The Georgia Guidestone's got that number down even below or further up than 90%. They got it at 500 million. where 90% of the 6.5 billion would be 650 million. That's a little more than the 500 million. But anyway, I mean, they can have that happen if, just per se, they drop one over the United continental United States, okay? And the lights go out. Let's just put it that way. The lights go out, and you all should know that within 1 year, no electricity, there would be a loss of 90% of the population through starvation and other means. So if they, whatever, there's so many things that could happen. So I don't understand anybody who's not seeking some kind of spiritual enlightenment. Enlightenment, I guess. Just a spiritual, just to get out of everything that's around you, that's physical and just causing damage. It's just dark and bleak. There's so much hope in knowing, your God, Jesus Christ, and who wouldn't want that? There's plenty of people out there that have testimonies that will tell you, by the truth of their speaking, where they were when they decided to go pray to Jesus. Why am I here? What's going to happen? Is there a plan for us? Is there a plan for me? How do I know you better? Prayers like that will get you answers. Maybe you're afraid of those answers, eh? Let's see, if you're afraid of everything else that's going on in this world, you're not going to be more afraid by praying to Jesus. That's for sure. And in fact, it'll be quite the opposite. Just talking to you from experience. This also from the big wobble. State of emergency for Canada, with some water levels expected once every 1,000 years. And the worst is yet to come in unprecedented flooding. We talked about that Friday. Once every 1,000-year floods. We get 100-year floods. We're getting records broken. There you go. There's the floodwaters. That's like a city to me. I wonder what that is. What is that? Horse racing track? Anyway. Flooding in Calgary and Toronto. Flood-weary communities in Manitoba, New Brunswick, Ontario, and Quebec are preparing for a critical weekend as rising water levels force thousands to evacuate their homes. Rains is expected in Ontario's cottage country, stretching east into Quebec and Atlantic Canada, Montreal, Ottawa. Many smaller communities have declared states of emergency, prompting the federal government to deploy hundreds of soldiers to help the sandbagging and other relief efforts. Operations. We're all just putting our shoulder to the wheel in the most effective way. Make sure that the personnel and resources are available. Prayers for Canada. Prayers. Canada needs, not just prayers for these, add it to the list, apocalyptic, catastrophic flooding and storms and on and on. They're now happening. And, and when you go to pray, ask why these things are happening. It's an, what do you call it? Unprecedented time. We've never had a time like this, as far as I know, ever. The Bible says if this is the time that we're in, and I believe that this is the time we're in, there's millions and probably billions that believe that these are the times that we're in. Even the ones who don't have faith, who don't know God, who don't know Jesus, will say these things, there's something going on. it feels like the end. Wish they would go, the ones who don't know God, and go and ask God, is this the end? He'll tell you. He'll tell you. And of course, we got other news from Canada. This is from End Time Headlines. Canadian court to dad. Your daughter isn't a girl. The headline is America next? Yes, I do believe America's next, if not already. Court to tell their father whose daughter she is, and she's not a girl. Wow, talk about delusional. The Bible talks about he will give them a strong delusion. The ones that don't want to turn, he'll give you the pleasures of your heart, your desires, and then you're going to go to hell. And if you think that this is hell, it'll get a lot worse. It'll be a lot worse. And I tried to talk a little bit about it. Go listen to Wilkerson. David Wilkerson, I believe is the first name, David. Yes, Dave Wilkerson. He has a sermon out there, and it's basically just telling you about his opinion on hell. And he is, or was, I guess he passed in 2011. I'm not sure about that. But he was very spiritually gifted then and taught a lot of people through his preaching and had some visions that came true. Good portions of them, and some of them are still waiting. One last thing I believe in is 83 prediction. Was it an 83 prediction? Something about the cosmos. So the Supreme Court of British Columbia has found a father guilty of family violence because he refuses to refer to his 14-year-old daughter who suffers gender dysphoria and wants to be a boy as a male. According to the report by the Federalist, Justice Francesca Marziri said that the father had engaged in expressions of rejection of her gender identity because of his choice to continue to affirm in public that she, identified in courts as AB, is a girl. This court has determined that it is a form of family violence to AB for any of his family members to address him by his birth name, refer him as a girl or with female pronouns, whether to him directly or to third parties, or to attempt to persuade him to abandon treatment for gender dysphoria. I've heard so many court cases. Well, not so many. There's been a few, but it will be many more. Well, they're passing laws almost every time we get something like this. They say that they passed a law. Yeah. In any case, I don't know what's going to happen to them. Argues there's nothing more immutable than a person's gender. You cannot change your gender. No, I mean you can. I mean, technically you can't, but you can mutilate and remove and implant, stuff like that. But genetically, change your chromosomes, genes, no, you can't change that. DNA, everything. Some people say, either having, I won't say that. Ah, Yeah, I don't know. People probably get offended. They get offended for everything. It really doesn't matter. That's why I don't worry about it that much. Yeah, you either have an innie or an outie. That's it, man. Two choices. There are no other choices except what you choose or you think you want to be one day or another. And that's why they say in a lot of these things when these transgenders go into these men's bathrooms or whatever, women's bathrooms, I get it all confused. They got me really confused. They got a freaking whole list of what you can be. But they can change their mind. That's the whole thing. That's what's really wrong, just messed up about it. You can one day you can be the person that you were born, male or female, and the next day, well, today I feel like, if some guy's going around, today I feel like a girl. And then you can go into the girls' locker rooms and blah and do all this other stuff. We've already had cases in Target stores where a man went in there and started taking pictures of girls because he, said that he felt transgender that day. Felt like a woman. Of course, all this stuff is just wrong and dark, right? You know where it comes from. And, you're going to hear about these stories all the time because I have even my common sense tells me that. Even my morality, which is, I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else, but I do have morals. There's a lot of people who don't. I told you, in the 90s, that's probably probably said that, and then the Lord decided to call me. I don't know. He's been trying to call me for a long time, but I said in the 90s, and that's what they called the 90s. When they called it, when they said it over the radio, 90s is the anything goes decade. That's what they named the 90s after. I don't think it's changed since. Anything goes. All right, I'll get off that. So, shift plan. Iran appeals directly to Trump. Your advisors are dragging you into a war or into war. Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif told Chris Wallace of Fox News Sunday that he believes President Trump's own advisors, as well as the Middle East allies like Saudi Arabia and Israel, are going to drag the United States into a conflict with Iran. Yeah, that's one bully. That's one bully. They still are a state of terrorism, unless, and I know it's not the people. Just like Iran should know that, the United States does not, um, they are not the leaders of the United States. They are totally something different. It's gotten way out of hand, out of control, and we all know where it all comes from. And you all should know where it comes from. So this comes just days after Zarif made similar statements about the possibility of U.S. and Iranian ships clashing in the Persian Gulf. Yeah, we heard that. Closing down the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah. Well, I hope they have more than a couple submarines and those fast little speedboats. A warning that a false flag accident scenario could lure Trump into war, something which he thinks Trump himself doesn't want to see happen. No, he doesn't. He doesn't want to send his troops into war. Into war. He wants to bring them all home, and he wants to build America up. He wants to keep America safe. But you got the big war machine that's got to be, released. I don't see where, some guy said the other day, I think it was Jesse Ventura said that, since Vietnam, he has never seen a just war since then. I mean, Vietnam was started by some vessel being blown up somewhere off the Korean peninsula, and that started that war. Started our involvement anyway, even though we were involved already. And a lot of things we can go into them. Weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, right? Yeah, and then when we couldn't find any, oh yeah, we sent them all in tunnels to Syria. So now we're, anyways, you know how it goes. It's all about the war machine, and it's been about the war machine, at least in the public eye. We know about it since Vietnam. What is this? An advertisement. Yeah, this is the article I was telling you about from Shift Plan. New World Order globalists want to annihilate 90% of the human race. Yes, they do. I don't think it's because of global warming. They think we're going to use up all the resources. There won't be anything left for them. Blah, 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 blah. On and on and on. Well, they should stop what they're doing. Stop poisoning our drinking water and then go and make laws that say that we can't collect rainwater or any other kind of water. There, go to stopthecrime.com. You can read about the water wars. Okay? It's a true thing. My daughter, my firstborn, who is now living with us, stated the other day that Connecticut has that law. You cannot collect rainwater. I don't know who the heck they think they are, but I'm going to collect it. I will collect it. If it means the difference of my family, dying of thirst, you betcha I'm going to collect water. They have no right to tell me what I can do with God's rain or what to grow in my backyard. I mean, the state of Connecticut thinks that they own the property, that this house sits on. Pretty sure it was all in the summary of the property. In any case, the New World and globalization has been happening for some time now. It surely has. But there always appears to be a moment when the agenda's rhetoric is ramped up to disturbing levels. Have you seen the Democrats lately? Seen what they're up to? Of course, they have been quiet the past week or so. Complete with apocalyptic death. Even leftist totalitarian comedians like Bill Maher have joined in the horrific agenda, pushing by saying he just wants people to not have kids and die and stay dead. Whatever. Whatever. All right, we won't get into that anymore. It just sounds like a weird freaking article. Oh, yes, this one. It's not the first time either, people. In Los Angeles, authorities dwarf terror plot in Southern California. It's not the first time. Remember, what was it, last summer? It was Los Angeles as well. Some gay rights parade or something like that. That was stopped too. I guess they got somebody with guns at that time. So, federal officials have disrupted another one, a terror plot involving multiple targets in Southern California. And people, where is it? Is it this one? There is another warning out there. Oh, let's see what this one says. No, that's not it. Where did that go? There is another warning out there. The terrorists or ISIS, whoever's claiming responsibility for the Sri Lanka event, has put a threat out there for other Western nations, and specifically America is number one on the list, and that they are going to do attacks. They were going to do what they did in Sri Lanka. I don't know where that article went to, but disappeared. Oh, they got this lone suspect in custody on domestic terror charges. Suspect is a U.S. Army vet who is converted to Islam and plotted a bomb on that Revenge of New Zealand for mosque attacks, and Associated Press. Further details are expected to be revealed late Monday, and I have not gotten them. This one, supposedly, I heard this earlier today on the news. ISIS leader Baghdadi, whatever, reportedly appeared in a propaganda video for the first time in 5 years. So from the week, not written by them, but Here's why that's significant. Al-Baghdadi. Okay, that's, I thought there was something missing there. I'm not going to mention the whole name. I'm just calling Baghdadi. The enigmatic leader of the Islamic State has reportedly appeared. Okay, media network Al Fergan. It's the first video appearance from Baghdadi, whose whereabouts remain unknown since he recorded footage in 2014. There are three reasons why the news is significant. First, he's still alive. Yeah, I'm sure there may have been news out there that may have killed him. So, and it goes into why they think he's alive. ISIS probably isn't done fighting. That is number two. Some people say that they've been defeated. Is also an attempt to get him back going again. But anyway, some analysts find the video significant because ISIS' recent territorial defeats, which caused President Trump to say the group was 100% defeated. But in the video, Baghdadi reported urges his followers to keep fighting their enemies around the world despite the loss of the physical caliphate. In the video, he reportedly incites attacks against France. His physical appearance also seems to carry symbolic weight. Whatever. And it sheds a little more light on Sri Lanka. In any case, we should always be aware of our surroundings and who's around us. It's just something we have to do. I mean, Israel's been doing it for many years because they have been attacked. They have terrorists there. So do we, people. So does the United States. I don't know if, because we hear so much less of it, but I think that you're going to hear a lot more. Is that once these, especially the sleeper cells, have been here so long that maybe they've kind of gotten used to American life and just decided that that's it, we like the American life. It can be pretty alluring if you're doing okay, depending on where you are and where you sit. So anyways, always be aware of that. And we talked about this before too. This is from National News. Planet of the Apes becomes reality after Chinese scientists implant human genes into the monkeys to make them smarter. Yeah, gee whiz, why would we want to do that? Why? Because they can. That's it. All the money that could be going into curing cancer, they're going to implant human brain tissue or genes or cells into monkey, whatever. Crazy people. And here's the First Amendment going down the drain. It goes, with anybody saying anything about hate, about another religion. Yeah, I've seen somebody get arrested before for that. It's called hate speech, and it is a law now. This is not America anymore. It's not the America that we know, even the one that we're lied about. There is no free speech anymore. It's being limited, and so is Second Amendment. We're not living under the Constitution anyway, and that's why they're getting away with it. I'm still working on that story. Come a long way with it too. Anyways, we'll talk about it another time. In America, rapper charged with terrorism over controversial lyrics critical of police. Now, how many times have you heard, rap stars or other whatever music? I mean, who was that? Bob Seger. I mean, didn't he talk about the police one time? I mean, now we can be arrested for the lyrics in our songs. I mean, I hate rap. I really do. I hate rap. Some of it's, it's okay if you have to listen to it. Maybe a song or two. But other than that, I mean, but be arrested, charged with terrorism? Freedom of speech has been taken away. Rapper Mayhem Mal from the group Ghetto Superstar Committee has been charged with terrorism after the group uploaded a song titled "Luck the Police" to both YouTube and Facebook, which apparently constitutes a true threat, according to new federal legal terminology. I don't see how that is a threat. Luck the police to both YouTube and Facebook. Oh, just luck the police. Really? As many times as people around anywhere you go swear, you hear this word all the time. Now how? Wow, where's that? Just crazy stuff, man. They're just trying to test their waters now, I guess. I don't know how far they can get with that one. Yeah, maybe it's the Democrats that ordered somebody to arrest him for that, so that they can try and, create another freaking riot and get Black Lives Matter in there and start creating destroy another town. Hell, why not? It's good. Anyways, segment of shocking report, whatever. All right, so last two stories here are, about what's going on in Australia. You know, we followed their heat wave, we followed their early winter. Apparently, they had a big, huge snowstorm too early. A lot of things going on down there. They even had a southern earthquake, 6-pointer, big one. And I've talked to other people. They've never seen an earthquake down there before. One we announced below Australia, in between Australia and Antarctica. It's just, in my lifetime, I have not seen one there. It's only 60 years. The Australian government wants to kill 2 million feral cats by dropping poisoned sausages from airplanes. This is from the Natural Blaze. So, I guess that's what a feral is, that little picture there. Cats, they may rule the internet, but the Australian government has a merciless stance towards them. To solve the country's feral cat, that's FERAL, cat problem, the government intends to kill 2 million free roaming cats, a large chunk of the total feral cat population by 2020. That's approximately between 2 and 6 million felines. Oh, this is according to CNN, so you got to read a little further. CNN is just scripted. That's Australia. So here's another one from Australia. Natural Blaze as well. Psychedelics to treat mental illness. Australian researchers are giving it a go. Yeah, they're somehow, some way, according to them, mentally unstable. Let's give them psychedelics. I mean, wasn't that part of the MK Ultra uh, conditioning? I don't know. I know there was experiments well before I was born. An estimated 1 in 10 Australians were taking antidepressants in 2015. That's going on worldwide, man. There's a problem with depression worldwide. Take a look outside. Take a walk down the street. Go drive down down your highway. People are angry. People are, and that's turning into depression, and vice versa. We still have an epidemic of teens and our returning soldiers committing suicide. It's not gone away. It's gotten worse. It's getting worse. I think we had one kill himself right on the VA steps or something in front of the building, some hospital somewhere. Just terrible. I can't. I just I tried to think about it for a minute, and then I can't because I haven't been there. I haven't gone through it, and there's no way I can think about it. You know, you're 18 years old, 19 years old, going to, into a combat situation. You're trained as a soldier to kill. You go into a foreign country, and then you have people shooting at you. You have maybe one of your buddies die. Then what do? It's an impression, and you want vengeance. You're angry, and so you go and kill one or two of them. And now you have that on your hands and in your mind. Um, I believe that that would change anybody. Just the conditioning alone. I mean, some say it's good conditioning. Some of it, the discipline, training you with weapons and how to kill somebody, kill shots, uh, different zones that create different things. Yeah, I can't imagine. I'm glad I don't have to do that. That's, I love the veterans. I hate the reasons that they're being sent to war because there is no good reason to send them to war anymore. It's all a big lie from the powers that be, and some of us, in order to get education, maybe even have a career, do these things. Antidepressants are among all OECD countries. Yet some student studies have found antidepressants might be no more effective than placebo. Not only does this mean many Australians aren't experiencing relief from their psychological distress, but some may also be contending with adverse side effects from their medications. You ever see a commercial for medications in this state? I'm sure you have it in your state too. I mean, the medicine to create the symptom that you have also has, 10 to the 10th power. I don't know if it's to the 10th power, maybe 10 to the third power side effects. And one of them's death. We're going to take it anyway. By golly, we will. Anyways, that's it, folks. All we got, that's plenty. Uh, another, and it's Monday. Yeah, so, God bless you all. I hope things, I get this picture out of my head. You know what I was looking at over there, but anyways, people, I will see you Wednesday unless an emergency comes up or I just feel like opening up. Didn't even get to change the picture that I had up there. I hope you all do well, and I'm praying for each and every one of you. Yep. We need to be lifted up. We need to be strengthened. We need to carry on in this, mess, this big, soupy mess. Not getting any better, and it's not. We need divine intervention, and He is coming. God bless you all, and peace out, everyone.